Okay. 3, 2.
Hey,
1.
YouTubers, motherfucker.
Oh my god. That's actually funny. That's going into the video. Anyway, guys, MJ and I are here to talk to you guys about. I guess this is going to be a hard topic, guys. So I really want everyone to just basically bear with me and stay with me here. But a fan requested video, and I'm really sorry if you requested this over on MJ's stream where we're actually doing this. If you did and you're watching this video, please make sure to go down in the comment section below and tell me you're the one who actually did this, because I didn't screen cap it and I asked a couple times and you didn't necessarily say it was you one way or the other. So please make sure to go down in the comment section below and tell me if it was you who requested this particular subject. Anyway,
You should have taken a screenshot.
like it says. I know. Anyway, like it says in the title, like it shows you in the thumbnail, we are talking about rewriting the Future Trunks arc and rewriting Zamasu's character in general. Like I said, it's going to be a really hard topic.
You're gonna blow me away.
so-
on this, D. You're way too smart for me on these type of things.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. You probably heard this stuff before. So, all right. So, how do you rewrite Future Trunks and Zamasu and just the entirety of the arc? Make it make sense to previous Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball lore, while also kind of keeping in the same tone or style of what they were trying to do in the first place. And, okay, the one thing I would have to do, and I know this, a lot of people wouldn't like this, a lot of people would like this, a lot of people wouldn't like this, but I really think it's important that this has to be the thing that is it's not Future Trunks. It's not the Future Trunks from Dragon Ball Z.
Ouch.
That has to be, because look, while I really appreciate and enjoy the concept of Future Trunks being, I guess, part of, in this endless cycle of despair and distrust and all this other stuff, and all, like, he was the one who caused Zamasu in the first place and all of this other crap, I feel like you can still have that same hit, that same impact, without necessarily pulling or depriving the story of its tangible connection. In fact, even probably making it even that much more of an impactful moment if, like it kind of suggested throughout most of Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball, the end of Dragon Ball Z, and even in that particular arc, is nobody told Trunks that he ever came back in time. Like, that was kind of a shock to him. It, like, basically broke his world for that first episode where Trunks comes back. So yeah. So you have the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament, right?
Yeah.
And Zamasu comes down, and Zamasu's like, yeah, like, that was awesome. We should totally do this again. And Goku's just marking out. He's, like, popping all over the place. He's like, yeah, totally, this is fucking awesome. Like, that's what I want to do. But you do the whole Patafu thing, the whole copy Vegeta thing, and then I guess, like, you allow a couple episodes where it's just kind of filler, slice of life, like, how's everyone doing, all this other stuff. And instead of going directly into the next tournament, you have basically an entire episode dedicated to Dragon Ball Z, the ending of Dragon Ball Z. You redo, like, basically you could even reanimate the ending of Dragon Ball Z. You skip forward as many years in the future as you need to, even around that time. So yeah, so Pan's born, or Pan's older, Brawl's born, Oob goes off to train with Goku, and it's suggested that and then it's suggested that Goku is basically training Oob, training Goten, training Pan, in order to allow, like, he wants to build a team for the Omniversal Tournament,
Brilliant.
which Zeno, as this point, has actually kind of forgot about, like he did. And obviously Goku, for whatever reason, Goku being Goku, is he wouldn't forget about that. So he's been building a team. So he has basically Trunks, Goten, Vegeta, Pan, potentially Brawl, Oob, and Gohan, and three other people, like 3 other people. And so he goes and trains Oob. Everyone else grows up. Everyone else is being trained in one way, shape, or form. He's he's training all these other people in conjunction with Oob, and then he goes and tells Zeno that we want to do this tournament, and Zeno's like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. So he gets the tournament going. Now, granted, it's a couple years in the future. This is probably taking place around the same time that GT is taking place. So everyone is like fighting ready, or at least as old, or at least around as old as Goten or Gohan was when they fought Cell.
Okay, it's like around that age. Okay.
Yeah, so Pan and Bra are around that age because they're probably going to be the youngest here. And so imagine this. They go in, and it's the Pride Troopers, and it's all these other people. But essentially, you have all these people fight. And instead of it seeming like, well, how are they going to beat the Pride Troopers? I mean, they have Gohan, and they have Vegeta and Goku, and like those three Saiyans, they're really powerful. And then everyone else is basically just a wild card that they're propping up one way or the other. And how are they going to beat them right now? But in this particular timeline, for this particular part of the show, it basically adheres to the ending of Dragon Ball Z, and the ending of Dragon Ball Z is still canon. And you go past that, you start this tournament, and because they have this like completely awesome team, they win. They just win. Like, they win epically, and then they figure out a way, like, oh, we're not gonna, or maybe because this is a different timeline in general, there's no two Zenos. Like, that's the thing. There's no two Zenos at this point. It's just the one Zeno. So he's just like, so he doesn't want to destroy all the universes. He's not like a priority for him. So he just wants to see an awesome tournament. So you're like, oh, cool. So like they win, and you don't necessarily get to see any of that fight and everything, but they just had like the best team possible because of the particular time period that they were fighting in. And so, but because of that, and because of how that fight would go, you have people like Zamasu, who at this point, because it's been so many years since when Zamasu basically showed up, Zamasu is looking at this like, well, like these fucking, like, who are these people who have God Ki?
Yeah.
Like, and like, whether he's taken over for Gowasu or he's just there, like, watching, he's just like, what the hell is this? And of course, like always, they did bring the Super Dragon Ball, so of course, like at that point, instead of it through GodTube, everyone realizes what Super Dragon Balls are, and that it's not a myth. So instead of like him going in, he just knows that the Super Dragon Balls are definitely in Universe 6 and 7 because Champa's been recruiting them. He gave them, and that was general knowledge, that he gave them 3 Super Dragon Balls before Zeno basically just figured out where all the other ones were, or the Grand Priest or whoever did that. So apparently, like, that's where Gowasu kind of gets it in his head. He's like, Negan, stupid Negan. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, we let these people here, and they won this big tournament, and it disgraced our universe, and what, yada, yada, yada. But they cheated. Like, Negan shouldn't have God power. Negan shouldn't be gods. And so he gets mad, and obviously Goku was the leader of that particular group or tribe or whatever. And he goes to Zuno. Is it Zuno?
Yeah. Too many Z's, bro.
He goes to too many Z's. Like,
okay, before you continue, I just want to say this before people, say anything in the comment section. It does seem like Goku and Vegeta may actually be a rare bunch in the mortal field, because it did seem that Universe 11 Kaioshin, along with Universe 9's Kaioshin, was also freaked out that they had God Ki. So that may imply, due to the fact that Toppo is Universe 11's bodyguard, Universe 11 Kaioshin's bodyguard, and since I would assume he might know Jiren as well, that could imply that they do not use God Ki. So again, it's just kind of like Goku and Vegeta do seem to be like a rare, like just this rare pair, you know what I mean? They, for some reason, they have God Ki. For some reason, they were special enough for the like Whis and Beerus to train them, or Whis, in my opinion. So I just wanted to make that clear, that it does seem like Goku and Vegeta are the only ones who do will God Ki. Like, even Hit didn't have it, supposedly,
Yeah. So everyone else is just basically immortal, but for whatever reason, Goku and Vegeta have this God Ki power, and it's quite obvious that Goku is the strongest of all of them. So, Gowasu, instead of like they did in the original, or how they did it in the real series, like Gowasu or Zamasu, doesn't look at it, doesn't figure out who Goku is or learn his fighting techniques or how awesome he is through GodTube. He literally gets to see it firsthand through the Tournament of Power. And so he goes talks to Zuno, and he's like, hey, where are the Super Dragon Balls? Like, this is ridiculous. Plus, of course, like at this point, like you would have to say like what a year has passed, because they need to be able to use them again. So I guess at this point, from the ending of where the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament left, it's been like, what, 20 years? So Goku is still... well, not 20 years.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been maybe like 10. It's like 10, 11 years at this point. And then basically what happens is he goes and he gets the Dragon Balls. He does what he does in the series. He goes and he wishes for Goku's body. He kills everybody. I mean, like at this point, like it's not the same type of scene where he's sitting there and he just basically murders Goten and Chi-Chi, and they're defenseless at this point. Like Goku is in Universe 7 and he's surrounded by people who are stronger than him. Like, because he while he does have Goku's body, he has that kind of situation where he has to learn how to use his body. And there's like all these situations where he can't just go kill people. He can't sneak up on everyone. So in terms of like actually getting stronger and getting those Zenkai boosts and all that other stuff, like that's part of the story. Whether he jumps into other universes and actually kills all the gods first, and then goes back into Universe 7 like he did in the original story, or he figures out a way to go into around Universe 7's Earth and basically kill everyone off. So, at that level, you could have really awesome fight scenes, or at least flashbacks to fights between, like, Goku Black and Oob, or Goten, or Vegeta even, and all these, like, awesome concepts. Like, you could see or briefly see, kind of in the same vein that we saw the flashes of 17 and 18 basically murdering the Z Fighters in the History of Trunks special. So you could see that type of stuff and that kind of mayhem, and get an idea that that's how he really got as strong as he did. Not basically just kind of on par with Trunks, and getting stronger by going back in time and fighting Goku himself, but actually becoming as powerful and not having that build up because he's been fighting people who are basically on Goku's level to begin with, and he's not actually finding people or actually going back in time in order to get those ridiculous power-ups. So at that point, like, it's not that he has to fight Goku in order to unlock Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan Rose. He already has it, and he's already that strong. But on the plus side, you have people like Trunks who are also, like, because of the training that he's been doing in order to prepare for the Tournament of Power, Goku's preparation for the Tournament of Power for everyone else, Trunks isn't weak either. Like, Trunks is at a whole nother level than anything that we've ever seen him be capable of. So it's not an ass pull that way to basically make him that much stronger.
Well, I would assume everyone's at a new level, because if they've been training in preparation for the Tournament of Power, and then also, like, they didn't want to, like, get outshined by Goten, Oob, and Pan,
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So at that level, like, and so what's going on here is basically Goku, or Goku Black, takes out everyone, and he goes, and because he has so he goes, takes out everyone, and then Trunks, being Trunks, and Bulma having Cell's time machine, basically allows Cell, that time machine fixes it, and allows Trunks to go back in time. And then that way, that's where you allow Super to break the chain and not be, like, able to adhere or have to adhere to the, like, ridiculousness of the Dragon Ball Z timeline or the Dragon Ball Z ending, because it did happen, it did exist, this is what happened after it, but now we're breaking that and we can do whatever we want, and, like, have basically just have Brawl be born, but maybe have Brawl be born way later than she should, or any of this other stuff, because all this crap happens in this tournament just to basically rewrite the ending of Dragon Ball Z while also keeping it intact. It's perfect, like, Days of Future Past.
So this is kind of like the Goten video, right? Where the theory about Goten Black, it's Super's Trunks that comes back, right? Not the Trunks from DBZ. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So exactly, like that's basically where I'm taking this from. But it's instead of Goten, it's Goku, and so so obviously Trunks goes back in time. I would say the same thing happens, like creates a rift, and he goes back, like he creates a rift, and he goes back in time too, fights Goku, and fights Goku, gets stronger, gets pulled back into like the future that he's created for himself. And the cool thing here, and the thing I would kind of focus on more so than anything else, is I think you would have this situation that would be kind of a double-edged sword for Trunks' character. What did you say? Like, I don't, whatever. I know, but I'm actually reading the comments, and Danny's freaking out on me. I don't remember which idea it was. I'm sure like Danny has come up with a lot of ideas. So if I am saying any of this that actually was his idea, I'm sorry about that.
We're sorry, Danny. We love you.
I am sorry, Danny. Like, total props to you. Anyway, so what happens there is it's a double-edged sword with Trunks, because Trunks, the kid Trunks in the Super timeline that we know versus the future Trunks, or this iteration of future Trunks, neither of them know that this has happened before. And that was something that we didn't get in Super's interpretation of this plot point, because Trunks knew he went back already. But if kid Trunks right now didn't know he went back before and set up this situation, then imagine what would happen if that bombshell was hit for both of them. Because you would still have the freak out for kid Trunks seeing future Trunks. Is like, what the hell is going on? But then everyone else would be kind of okay with the concept. It wouldn't be the same Trunks, but they would know what was going on. And so they would understand that, and you would have to deal with the character moments between both sets of Trunkses, obviously, going forward into the tournament, or not the tournament, the arc itself. And that's kind of where I'm a little bit, just kind of off the top of my head, it's hard to think about exactly how it pushes forward. That wasn't necessarily the exact same thing we saw in the original series. Is you have because the reason it's difficult, the reason it's really difficult to say it like this and to have it play out like this is because there's a hard situation to figure out how a Zamasu's character in general gets to have two versions of himself without playing with a completely whole new timeline that has nothing to do with either future Trunks' timeline or the main timeline itself. Like, that was the thing that really threw a lot of people off in the particular way they decided to tell it. And I can't think of, unless figuring out a way and just basically rewriting the time rings to have, instead of Zamasu creating a whole nother timeline, just recruiting his previous self in order to help him, and use the Super Dragon Balls to wish for whatever, because to wish for immortality, and then that all plays out in its own right. So that's basically all I really got. I think the same thing would be true. I think you boil it down to whatever that would be, it would allow the story to basically remain the exact same without actually having Zamasu either have a whole nother timeline that we have no idea even what happened, or for whatever reason that was created, play into it, that we'll never see again, and we'll have no ramifications anywhere in the particular series, which is something Dragon Ball has never really done. There's always been, every time they go backwards and forwards into time, there's always been like an implication that came out of that timeline. I mean, people have done so many videos about how future Trunks in the Dragon Ball Z made sense, and how all of his actions led to Cell and everything like that. So Super basically creating a timeline out of thin air, at least the way they describe it, that had no like at least that's the way I interpreted it. I might be wrong there, but
I mean, I think the overall idea here is a bit better. Like the idea of just bringing back Trunks from Super, you know what I mean? It's the adult version of Trunks that we know now. Because in my opinion, I think I see people talk about the idea that the Zamasu arc needed, you know, Z Trunks. No, they didn't. And then people will say, well, we need to know what happened to him. No, we didn't. It's just like he came back, did his thing, and he went back, and now he had the power to destroy the androids. And then, you know what I mean, he grew up, fucked a tons of bitches, you know what I mean, and he did his thing, you know, rebuilt the world. We didn't need to know what happened after that. We didn't, and I don't think we needed Z Trunks for Zamasu to be a villain. You know what I mean? I feel like it could have worked. And plus, I'm just thinking about this idea now. Since you brought up the idea that he would see Goku and the team in the Tournament of Power, that could imply that by the time they get to the Tournament of Power, he would have taken over as a Kaioshin, and he would have already had the earrings and the rings, and he would have already been exposed to all that. He would have had knowledge of all that to carry out the plan, you know, not really needing Gowasu there, you know? I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, like, the other thing that we need to focus on is, so like he's a Kaioshin and time has passed. I think the big thing there is allowing Super to basically rewrite Dragon Ball Z without actually having to rewrite Dragon Ball Z. I think that's a big issue for me, at least. And then you have someone like Trunks having to deal with the ramifications of everything that he's done before, like in his past life, not knowing about it both ways. And like you said, it doesn't take away from the impact of Zamasu being a product of Trunks's situation, or what Trunks did in the past. I mean, that's still true. Even if it's not him, it is him. And implying, even just briefly, that Trunks is just in this state, like he's just this person of destiny where he's just going to be forced, no matter what timeline it is, no matter what, like anything. If he could figure out a way to fix it, because of that, something bad will happen.
It just seems like this motherfucker was destined to time travel. Whether he has blue hair, whether he has lavender hair, you know what I mean? Whatever he has, he was just destined to go back through time.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that would be cool. Like, in terms of, like, look, it's still your fault. I think regardless of whether it's Super's Trunks or Z's Trunks, it's still Trunks' fault. You know, the only reason I'm allowed to be here is because you didn't necessarily follow the rules. You broke these rules that have been in place. And he's like, but I didn't. And he's like, but you did. Like, this is not the way time works. And just because you didn't know, he's like, just because you didn't know, you did it. And you did it again. You're destined to do it. And like Trunks having to deal with that and having to overcome that burden of, this is me, this is my destiny, regardless of whether he knew it or not. I think that's kind of a powerful thing. It's kind of more of a Terminator-esque thing where it's like, we can overcome our destinies, and it doesn't have to be a perpetuating cycle of shit versus shit versus shit. It's just, I can beat this. And that's when you see Trunks basically overcome it. It would still be just as awesome to see him take down Zamasu or merge Zamasu or whatever it is, with that particular thing in mind, where I'll overcome this, I'll beat it, and basically have it's like it's that Taken 2 line, and all the badasses, it's like, I'll kill them and then I'll kill them too, you know, like the John Wick line. It's like, you know, like, it's like, I'll kill them and then I'll kill them too. It's like, if this is my destiny, then I'll fix it, and then I'll fix it again, and then I'll fix it again. Like, don't at me, bro. Like, and he just completely, like, he destroys Zamasu.
It's funny because I was recently watching episode 53 where Goku fought Zamasu. And even though I guess the episode didn't have like the greatest animation, I guess, or the greatest, I should say, art, when they were fighting, there was this cool moment where like Goku was going for a punch, and it showed Goku like in Zamasu's eyes while he was throwing the punch. Zamasu was like, he mumbled, "This is the power of a mortal." You know what I mean? And like, you know, Goku decks him. It would have been cool for them to play on that idea, because it did seem like when Goku showed off his ability to transform into a Super Saiyan Blue in the Zen exhibition match, that the guys were kind of freaked out. You know what I mean? And they were also freaked out at the fact that Goku's like friends with Beerus and stuff. So it kind of gives the catalyst for Zamasu to kind of just take it a bit more. He just kind of, what's the word? He takes it more to heart. Like, he takes the idea that these guys have God Ki, these guys got this powerful, and like he's watching Goku like climb the ranks and the brackets of that tournament, or if it's a battle royale, whatever it is. He constantly sees Goku fighting. You see him getting stronger form after form until he reaches that God form, and then Zamasu just finally it just cracks him. He's like, "There's no way more supposed to be this strong. I can't believe everyone here is fine with it." And like, he's just looking around, like everyone may be shocked, but he's the one who's just getting personally hurt by it. You know, maybe because he's a prodigy. That could also be another reason, because he's a prodigy even among gods. That's a fucking... Like, when you have Wisp putting you over, bro, that's... Like, when Wisp is saying this dude's a prodigy, you know, like, you mean... That tells you the shit, but even as a prodigy, Goku can still outclass him, and it's like, he takes it very personally, you know? So, I think it means more for him to actually watch the fight itself and watch the tournament and watch Goku beat all these other guys, you know what I mean? I think that would be real cool in this what-if, you know, rewrite of Zamasu, you know? I think it adds a bit more to his character. It would be cool for him to fight Goku, actually. I think that would be awesome, but the idea of seeing him just get stronger and stronger form after form, I think that's a lot better, in my opinion, you know?
Well, another thing I think would actually kind of mull over is the fact that, like, in terms of his, I guess, his hatred, or who he's trying to fuck over, or who he's trying to mind fuck, to me, it was always a little bit complicated or a little bit ridiculous. Like, so he hated Goku, that much is true. So he figures out a way to take out Goku, but then partway through that arc, he's like, yeah, this is all your fault, Trunks, and I've been kind of torturing you for the last year because this is all your fault. It's like, okay, so who are you mad at? Like, are you mad at Trunks for having, like, broken this sacred rule of no time travel? Or are you mad at Goku for having God Ki? That would also, at least in my opinion, this rewrite particularly would take that away, because it doesn't matter. Like, he sees them, they're God Ki, he doesn't like that, and then he finds other reasons to hate them, and he doesn't necessarily hate... I think the biggest part is he doesn't necessarily hate Goku or Trunks, he hates Saiyans. Because the Saiyans are like that's what we thought going into this. Like, that's what we thought going into this arc. Because when he shows up against Trunks, he's like, "I found you, stinking Saiyan," or like whatever he said. And you're like, "Oh, why does he hate Saiyans? Like, what did Saiyans do to, like?" And it made sense because it was Goku, and like, well, okay, that makes sense. And it's also a little bit weird because Goku's never really acted like that. So obviously it's evil Goku, but putting him in a hatred against Saiyans instead of a particular person, I think would be a better focus for the series in general, because it would allow him to not only kind of take down Goku a notch for having the audacity to compete with gods or have God Ki or do all this other stuff when he's supposed to be immortal, but also allow him to hate Trunks for doing the whole time travel thing, and hate Trunks, and Trunks doesn't even know why until you know, he drops that bombshell on him. If you know, he drops that bombshell, or obviously at some point someone's gonna have to drop that bombshell on both of them. And so it's just, to me, there's so many practical applications for them of having done it this way in order to basically free up Super for the foreseeable future and reintroduce people and show things. And plus this is not even to mention that because of all this, because like you would probably have the same thing, you know, you just probably have the same thing. Like, you would have these Super Saiyan, or the time machine, they would probably go back to the future, their now future, or like Trunks' future that's not the original future, Trunks' future. I know that's kind of a mouthful, but Danny's right, I need diagrams. I think the one thing is, like, you would have them go back to that. It would probably be same thing, beat for beat for beat, but, and there's a big but, wait,
what? A big butt?
This is a big butt. It's nice. You would have him be in this situation where it doesn't necessarily matter. You could have it play out the same way and not necessarily affect this thing, and then you would have them go back, and because everything's kind of put off balance, and they don't have as much time to prepare for the Tournament of Power that we just saw them basically work their way through, because they have so many people on their team that had so much potential. They don't have that anymore. It would put a whole lot of effort, a whole lot of tension into this upcoming arc, because it's like, we saw them win it easily, or maybe even difficult, but we saw them win it, or we know that they won it, and it was a hard-fought match when they had people who could fight at a whole nother level, and now they don't have that.
Yeah.
And because you play off the same thing with like maybe another Zeno coming in because of everything that happened, and now it's like it's not even the same rules. It's like they want to literally destroy all these universes. You put that much more of tension, like that much more tension on the upcoming arc of Dragon Ball Super, so it plays in a whole lot of levels.
I completely agree with you. This video was like 80% you. No, this video was like 90% you and 10% me, bro.
That's fine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry if I overtook it, but I did need the little things in between to help me think, and also you brought some pretty good stuff to the
Nah. This was all you, bro.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it at that. It's not perfect. Like Danny said, I'm going to need diagrams and everything, but I'm probably not going to give it to you. So I hope you were able to follow that. I know it was a little bit ridiculous, but with that being said, please make sure to go check out MJ in the comment section. And he'll probably be in the comment section, but definitely in the description section. His link will be there, so make sure to go hit that link and go see everything that he produces for you guys. Daily content for everyone who's interested, so please make sure. Guy works really hard, so we really need to support him as a fan base and community and everything like that. Please do not forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share this video out. And you know what? Maybe more of these in the future. We had fun. So hope you had fun too. Anyway, guys, we're going to call it a night. Bye.
Peace.